Hello, and welcome to the Wayfaring Panda. I'm Annette. Today I'm making my first Christmas project for the 2021 season. I'm starting it off with some Christmas cards. So the card I'm making today, I'm using a stencil, and this one is from Newton's Nook, and it's their Ornament stencil. It is being retired, but I'll put a link in the description below. It was still available when I checked the store. It won't be an affiliate link because I don't have an affiliate program for Newton's Nook. I'm also using some Nuvo Embellishment Mousse, and this is the color Honeydew. Now I keep some press and seal over it to help keep it from drying out, but you can see it's really dry and cracked. However, when I started working with it, it did go on and it kind of softened up as I moved it around. I picked this mousse because, as you can tell, it was getting old, so I want to make sure I use it before it's too dried up. And also I found some coordinating paper. But you can use whatever stencil and mousse and paper that you have that coordinates. I'm using purple tape to hold down the stencil, and I'm using this Nuvo spatula to spread on my Nuvo mousse. Now the tape I put on a row to the right and on the bottom so that I didn't go over the edge because I want to leave a little bit of white border on the card. And I did 3 different backgrounds so I can make 6 cards, and then you want to make sure that you clean your stencil and tool right away so that it doesn't dry permanently on your stencil. Next, I'm embossing my sentiment on the pattern paper, and I'm using my embossing tool to go over the paper, and that's just so the embossing powder won't stick anywhere other than where I stamp. And then I'm taking my sentiment, which is from Meow to You, and I'm stamping that with Versamark ink, and that's a wet ink that the embossing powder will stick to. And then I'm using my Recollections silver powder to go over that, and then I melt it with my heat tool. Next, I'm stamping the sentiment inside the card, and this is a card base that I made with some kind of sage green color cardstock, and this comes from Stamping Up, and it's small paper that I have, kind of matched the pattern paper that I did have. I'm using a silver stamp pad and stamping the sentiment Meowy Christmas. And all the stamps I'm using today comes from Newton's Nook, and it's from a Kitten Christmas stamp set. All the stamps I'm using came from the same set. And then I'm using some green Stamping Up stamp pad to stamp a holly on both of these. Now, I wasn't quite sure if I liked the silver stamped, so then I did another card with green. A couple of the letters didn't stamp really well, so I just went over those with a matching green marker, and then I'm just doing the green holly again. I'm making 6 cards, so each step I make enough for 6 cards, and that's because the panels that I made with the stencil and the pattern paper I cut in half, so each piece will make 2 cards, and so I went ahead and did 6, so I'll have several cards ready for Christmas. Here I stamp again and I get a better impression. Next, I'm coloring the holly berries with a Copic marker. I cut out a piece of thin white cardstock with my Lawn Fawn rectangle die that's just a little bit smaller than an A2 size. And that's the same size that I cut my pattern paper and my mixed media paper that I did the stenciling on. Then I cut both of those at the 2.5 inch line, so I have one piece that's smaller and one piece that is wider. And then I'm going to glue half of the pattern piece and part of the stenciled piece onto my card base. And I'm just using Nuvo Deluxe glue for that. Next, I'm using some Lawn Fawn twine to tie a bow on the front, and then I secure it with some washi tape on the back. And then I use my Nuvo glue to adhere this panel to the front of my card base. Now you can see I fiddle with this quite a bit. I'm not the world's best bow tire, and also I had trouble cutting it, so then I got my Tim Holtz scissors, which cut the string a little better. This design was really easy to do in assembly line type style so that you can get several cards made up all at once. Then I stamped one of the cat images onto some cardstock that I already cut out, and this is Heavenly White paper, and I cut it out with a Lawn Fawn rectangle die, and I'm using Memento Black ink since that is Copic marker friendly. For the small areas like the lights and the nose, I just used one color and didn't do any shading. I'll put all the markers that I used in the description below. Sometimes I remember to take the cap off and put it where you can see it. For the kitten, I do some shading. So first of all, where the tummy area is, I start with W00 because I want that to be a very light gray and almost white. So I always start with my darkest color. So first of all, on the rest of the kitten, I'm doing W5 where I think the shadows might be, and then I go to the lighter colors. And I keep the face as light as I can so you don't lose any of the facial expressions. As I get all three shades laid down, then I keep going over each area with the different three markers to get a smooth blend. Then I use my RV32 to add some pink for the cheek, but then I decided I got the cheek too far over under the eye, so I tried to move it and then smooth it out some more with the gray markers. I'm kind of new to Copics and I'm not very good with blush yet. Then I used my W7 trying to put in some stripes. I'm trying to challenge myself. I'm not really great with stripes yet, and the camera broke off before I finished coloring. And all I did after I added my stripes, I went over it again with some of the other gray colors to kind of blend the stripes in a little bit more.
I'm adding some silver stickles to the part where the light bulbs go to the cord, and then I'm adding some glossy accents over the top of the light bulbs, and this gives it some pizzazz. For my next card, I'm using a circle of Heavenly White paper and stamping the other kitty. And then I'm going over the pine needle with some green Copic marker. And then I'm just going to show the coloring of the ornament. And I'm starting with a darker green and moving to a lighter green in the inside. And that gives it a more 3D look and also helps ornament look three-dimensional. And that's all I show with this one because I colored the kitten pretty much the same way, only I didn't add stripes. I just kept him as a gray kitten. And then I'm putting on some glue because I forgot I was going to use the dimensional squares. I'll put a list of all the products that I'm using in the description below. Some of them will be affiliate links. This doesn't cost you anything extra to use, but it does help me to support my channel since I get a small commission on all the sales that the links generate. I added some silver stickles to the ornament and also some silver snowflake stickers that I had in my stash, and I think that added a lot of pizzazz. I liked how this one turned out, so for my other 4 cards I did the exact same card. I want to thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a like, and if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I'd really appreciate if you can subscribe. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and hope this inspires you to make some Christmas cards.